Okay, so here's a video on the pit bikes. When they first showed up, I've got pictures also, but here's like where the fender is damaged. And that one's almost got a little crack in it. I don't know if you can see that. And then this one was also, that was due to shipping, I'd say. So we were like, well, all right, we'll deal with that. And then we started them up, and this one sounds okay. You can hear how smooth it runs. Everything's tight. All things are tight. Sounds good. Now this one sounds like it's got a broken ring or something. As I get closer to the head, you can hear it. Everything's tight. Not a rattle. Definitely inside there. I can feel it. So that's that. Now also, the geometry on the chain is not so great. Let me move this one over. The chain has a major gap here and no gap here where it rides on the swing arm, and you can see, if I can get some better light here, it's cutting into the swing arm because the geometry is not right, and it should be, I don't know if something shifted in assembly, but if this swing arm was sitting here about an inch lower, bolted right here, which is probably what you would have to do to get that chain to quit cutting into there, and it also rubs down here. So the engine needed to go back, or the swing arm should be with the correct geometry in line with the gear, and it's also causing it to tighten up and then get loose again, which is messing up the bearing and cutting into the swing arm on the other bike. So let me get this one here. You can really see where it's cutting into the swing arm on this one. You can see the shininess. And you can also see if I move the chain over. Now, if you tighten the chain, it even gets tighter on the swing arm. So it should definitely have the swing arm drop down. And you can totally see where it's cutting. Just like the shape of the chain. It's got two guides right there where the chain is cutting right into the swing arm. Now, being that the geometry is not right with the swing arm, it is causing the bearing to go through a tightness when the swing arm goes up. And on this one, I've got a popping bearing pop right there. Again. And I can tell it's a bearing because it's not in the same exact spot each time. Now, as far as my experience on bikes, I think you might say I have a little experience on bikes. All the way from 74 RD 350 Yamaha, 76 Kawasaki, KZ 1000, 81 Virago 750, all custom. And then we got the little toys too, and we didn't have any problems with these when we got these. and the quads. And if you just look at the geometry of a quad that I've had for years, you can see that chain is not touching that swing arm at all. You can see air through there and hardly ever have to adjust it. It's got a tensioner on the bottom, as all chains should, but I guess they didn't want to put one on the little bikes. But the geometry wasn't correct anyway, so that was a problem. Got more quads, buggies, bikes. So, and I'm a master mechanic. This is what I do. So that's a 64 El Camino with a 327 out of a 66 Vet. So, and a home build. This is Dad's. So, but if there was anything else, I think that's it. The engine on that one and the chain, the geometry of the swing arms is just a defective build. Bearings going out in the back one because of the swing arm. Broken ring in that one. Like I said, the cosmetics, when it got here, we weren't worried about that too much. But the safety of the chain rubbing on the swing arm could bust, wrap around here, lock up the rear tire. You know, we're going with safety first, and like you can see, the geometry compared to the other chain I showed you is just totally incorrect. So in order to fix this problem, you would have to drop this swing arm down about right there, and everything would be correct, and the chain wouldn't retighten and tear up the bearing. So yeah, it's got some issues on both it, and hopefully it was just on these. Maybe something shifted on the assembly line, but yeah, problems with both of them. Let me put this one back on the kickstand.